Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Feel free to chime in the chat if you guys have any questions. So HNGRY is proud to be a co-organizer of today's programming, and I'm about to dive in kind of on what HNGRY is. So HNGRY is examining a world where technology is increasingly shaping the way we eat. HNGRY is a media company of just me, myself, and I, hustling to deliver you weekly scoops around topics like ghost kitchens, dark convenience stores and grocery stores, alternative proteins, fungi-based meats, cannabis-infused beverages, personalized nutrition, and a lot more topics to come. I do this in the form of a weekly trend subscription that I just launched last Thursday, but I've been doing it for the last year. I've been producing videos under the same name, HNGRY. We have a podcast and a lot more interesting stuff to come, many more events and talks, and also been diving a lot into Clubhouse. So let's get started. Food tech, what is food tech? I got into this space my background's kind of as a product manager in the technology space, most recently at Vimeo. What I found as someone who loves food and technology is that all the food that we eat every day, whether it's a salad in front of me, and the entire supply chain that created that dish was enabled by technology. And last year we saw about $20 billion of funding go into this very exciting space. I think is just going to continue to skyrocket with COVID. As you can see, last year about $4 billion of that funding went to e-grocery. So basically everything from micro-fulfillment technology, automation, different types of ways that grocers can compete against Amazon, off-premise retail and restaurants. So this is kind of the idea of like Chow Now and a lot of the ordering platforms that we've seen a lot of funding going into, restaurant tech like POS systems, all sorts of ordering platforms like Bebot, where you're inside the store, you're inside of a restaurant and you need to order without a server. And then we start getting in more further up the chain into biotech and ag tech and a lot of that stuff. So one of the topics I've been following closely is ghost kitchens and modular kitchens. These are cloud kitchens of actual facilities here. On the left, you're seeing a facility with about 40 kitchens in Houston, Texas. And on the right, you're seeing something in downtown Los Angeles in Skid Row, right by USC, where they've kind of piloted this idea of like a drive-through ghost kitchen. And those are all shipping containers that have basically been repurposed as ghost kitchens for delivery, which is pretty fascinating. And I'm seeing more and more of these kinds of modular kitchens that are going to be popping up in strip malls, in the parking lots outside of the mall, with some of the tenants that might already be in the mall that are maybe less accessible now due to the pandemic. It's just a great way to kind of utilize existing real estate and repurpose it for a totally new experience. So I think the idea of a modular kitchen is really we're going to see a lot more of that. You could imagine getting off of a freeway and darting into a parking lot where maybe 3 of your favorite quick serve brands are kind of set up, and along with some maybe an ice cream stand to do kind of a drive-through, and they'll also be doing delivery out of it. So I think that that's kind of the future for sure. I've also been diving in a lot into personalized nutrition. So, over the last 60 years, we've kind of reversed this trend of spending more on food versus healthcare. Today, we now spend 2 times as much on healthcare as we do our food, and food really is medicine. Eat your vegetables, eat a lot of fiber is what I've learned. And I've been doing experiments around my gut microbiome, which we have more bacteria cells in our gut than we do actual ancestral DNA. Or gut, we have more DNA coming from all the different types of bacteria all over our body than we do DNA. And one of those experiments was tracking my glucose. And a lot of this technology was only made available to diabetics up until now, but about a third of the population or so is pre-diabetic and doesn't even know it. So I was logging my meals, logging my exercise, and trying to understand, just what the impact of eating this salad was having on my glucose response, which, is part of my metabolism and is tied to everything related to longevity, like cancer, diabetes, and all sorts of chronic illness. So I think this is a huge space. There are predictions that this is a $3 trillion space within the next 5 years, and I'm very excited to see it emerge. Grocery delivery, this is something that I follow pretty closely. I actually signed up to be an Amazon Fresh driver recently. So Amazon's rolling out new stores that I believe are pretty much last mile fulfillment centers for delivery. I actually confirmed that they are delivering within about a mile radius to their prime customers, and they've set up shop right next to the prime customers, so they know exactly where everyone lives and have taken up pieces and spaces right next to that consumer. And then on the right, you'll see in Tel Aviv, I got into a pure dark grocery store that is only has 2 people working in it, and it can pick many orders a day and deliver it all to the customers with they're trying to get it down to like 30 minutes, but one day it could be 15 minutes. So a lot of innovation happening there. A lot of guys trying to compete against Amazon, doing it faster and cheaper. And then fungi-based meats is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. The picture on the right is actually not steak, believe it or not. I shot a video. I released it, I think it was in April or May. In May, we released a video. You can go to the HNGRY website and check it out, kind of about the future of alternative protein. And this has really the same texture of meat that you're used to, and it's all coming from the vegetative fungus roots of mushrooms. So it's called mycelium, and it's basically what's underneath the soil, and it basically sprouts mushrooms and other kind of wild fungi. So they find these strains in nature and try to use it to create new proteins, which is incredible. And one of my favorite topics is THC infused beverages. I can't get enough of this topic, not just from a consumer standpoint, but I do believe that they're going to pose a serious threat to alcohol, and I've been tracking that as well. And on the left, you'll see Miller Coors has a partnership with Hexo up in Canada, and they're basically testing this on the federal level because it's legal there. And so you could actually go and buy something that looks like a Dos Equis or a Red Stripe, but it's actually alcohol-free and better for you in many ways, and trying to mimic kind of the offset of alcohol. So that's kind of an overall of some of the trends that I've been tracking over the last year. I would love for you to check out my website. It's hngry.tv. And we just rolled out a paid subscription. You'll get access to all my historical articles, weekly deep dives into emerging trends. So every week I'm talking to people who run companies that are changing the food system as we know it. Every other month, I'll put out a trend report that's pretty lengthy. I put up one about cloud kitchens last month that actually seeded the Wall Street Journal article that came out today. We'll do hangouts and events just like this, and you'll get access to exclusive video content. So definitely be sure to check that out. The website is hngry.tv/trends. Thank you so much for attending. The food tech revolution is here. Let's do this.